there is the neighborhood that you mentioned that is to the west of Bergshorn, right?
Yeah,
And,
Hammarkullen.
right. And I went and looked at it, and it has a couple of interesting features. There's the very open Swedish city streets that you would find not in the middle of Göteborg, of course, but you find them any outside neighborhood in any Swedish city, right? With these broad streets and the brown sidewalks and lots of trees and things like that. And these really big, blocky, almost Soviet-looking apartment buildings, right?
Yes.
And so it's very much like that, except in this area, a lot of them are very white and very new looking. There has been some renovation. There has been some attempts to change the security lights, for example, are been installed so that the streets can be well lit. There's a general attempt for this particular neighborhood to get a little bit of a facelift. So that's
totally correct.
Right. So
I actually went there physically.
You sent the picture, right, from the station.
You can help us a little bit as your characters. We know from our previous session that your characters have left the train station and have actually been interacting with people and using a little bit, especially of Ola's character's sort of knowledge through his students and his familiarity with the area to try to get some kind of contact. Now, the two of you are very unlikely candidates for buying drugs or interacting with gangsters. So, therefore, at this time, unless, Ola, you want to use some detective work, which means really trying to put different kinds of information together, unless you want to do that, you are just going to wander around as the sun slowly goes toward the end.
That was exactly my that was exactly what I thought, because as we kind of touched on it, that was like, do you really, if you live in Hammarkullen and is a secret drug lord, do you really sell your drugs in Hammarkullen then? So to my big surprise, I see all the things that you mentioned, that this is not as a run-down neighborhood as I would have mentioned. And so what I imagine I do is to switch on my multi-dimensional awareness and just feel this place in that sense, in that much more cosmic and broader sense than just detective work and asking if you kids, have you seen any drug lords around? So it's seen.
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
And bad guys are in there.
Yeah. So where's the plot? The plot must be around here, maybe under this.
Yeah. So that's basically what I'm doing, and I think from outside it would look like two strange gentlemen walking around in not necessarily following the going on the sidewalk, but crossing and just.
Well, I agree. Right, you're following some other kind of logic as you are following the path.
Exactly.
Of the cosmos. Now let me enjoy myself with your suit special effects, which is that you do, pull what looks like a very 1970s, half of a headphone, just one side, right? And it's got the little telephone cord with the spiral.
Yeah.
And you were able, and you can put it up. Now, where it goes or where it's coming from or anything like that really isn't too obvious.
No.
Right? And so, but you can put it on your ear, and then you start looking at things.
Yeah.
The lights are much more fascinating than they were, and
much more fascinating.
Yes, and so that means that. Ulf, your character is certainly probably going to have to guide his steps so that he does not walk into, the little crosswalk light noises should.
It's actually very few cars here. So you're not allowed to
That's right.
drive within
so? Okay.
within this.
Right.
So
that makes
but
sense.
there's a lot of
that. Yeah.
yeah. So they are more. It's in this center when you come up from the tram station.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this like Stockholm really
Right.
really long
yeah.
staircase like
Yeah.
and then you come up to this like big plaza, and there's a really modern playground.
Mhm.
There's very many types of nationalities running
Yeah.
around.
Mhm.
Usually, I mean,
Well,
it doesn't matter
let's
which.
clarify a couple of things. One is that this is a little bit later because you were having a conversation and then you had to go across the
Yeah.
town. And I'm going to say that the sun is almost coming down at this point. But that, of course, means plenty of people are still shopping. Plenty of people are still out. There are kids at the playground when you come
Yeah.
on. All of those things.
I mean,
just want to get the, you are
That's
moving
correct.
into about 2021, right? About when we are right now, more or less.
Yeah.
As you begin. So
yeah, and compared to Örgryte or any other place in Gothenburg, the kids have not gone to bed in this place. That's a big difference. But I don't mind. I don't think about that at all. I try to feel this place.
Now, this is actually quite important that you are doing this because the first thing that you will find is that Sandir is actually in this region and is literally trying to he is behaving evasively. He doesn't know about you, but he is trying to get to the subway, to the train station.
Is he having any problem getting to the subway?
The point is that he is not walking openly. He is hiding and waiting very, very quietly, and then moves to a new position. All right. Now you are able to see this almost as if you were a shaman drifting over it, and you see his spirit, and the apprehension.
His worried spirit.
Right. And so you are. It's less about spotting a little a teenager running around. It's more like, oh, his essence. He is fearful. Look, he is still. He hides in fear, and you vaguely know, although you probably would be able to tell Havsman and that way, or just wander that way. And so
my body is in the wrong place compared to my senses, so to speak. Right. So I try to express this in a coherent way.
And you can, because the shutdown is mild. You can, but it is like talking to someone on an acid trip. They are a little distracted.
Little slurry. Yeah.
And so now here is the rule. I need to check this rule. You have used awareness. Now.
Can I roll?
Now you did not need that roll for Sandir, okay? But there is something going on that you do need a roll about. So
that's why is he angry? Why is he afraid? Who is he afraid of?
I will tell you what the roll is about in a moment. Just do it. So this is 3 dice, and you are looking for your intelligence or less.
Yeah. So I roll now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I roll 8 and I have 13. So
Excellent.
That's.
Well, at this time, you have moved. Both of you have moved with these traveling motions that you have done. You have moved into an area that has some trees at a park, and then a low rooftop on the other side of a broad street. Okay? So there is a broad street, and these streets, the one I'm thinking of from my picture, they curve. Right?
Yeah.
They curve. And so there's a curve, and on this, inside the curve is the nice little park-like area with some trees, and it gets a little thick in there. with the trees. And then on the other side, there is who knows what kind of business. Maybe it's, but whatever it is, it's closed. We are talking about a lot more businesses are closed because of coronavirus, and that is the situation. Maybe it is a place where you go ordinarily to change money or to wire money, but it is but they have reduced their hours, so it's no longer open until 22. It's open until 18, so it's closed now. So that's your situation, and you are, perceiving that Sandir is in this. He's right around here somewhere. You probably know that he's in the woods. Okay, your situational awareness has told you he is in the woods. But your role alerts you to something else. And I'm going to say your eyes snap open as you return to consciousness, and you point, because right there on the rooftop, and it's impossible. Oh, this is impossible. How you could ever have managed not to see this all by yourself. I mean, his eyes pop open, he points, and you're like,
Yep.
Because the person standing there is bright, gleaming, wet, golden in color, a yellow gold in color from head to toe. It is the most obvious thing you have ever seen. And the bad part is that they have their hands, one hand cupped in front of their mouth. You can see kind of the big googly goggles that go back like this, and then they go.
From the rooftop.
Oh,
so
yes.
it's a
As you, I am going to say, are standing on the other side of the street at the place where there's maybe some benches to go into the park.
But,
right.
Are they doing that towards us or towards?
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay.
Let me check. Oh, here we go. Okay, what is your dexterity for the cosmonaut?
All right, dexterity 12.
Excellent, because they go first. Now you, the cosmonaut, have your full defense because you were aware of them.
Yeah.
Right. Hasmanan was unaware of them. Their stealth basically beat you.
Yep.
And so therefore the stealth is overwhelms ordinary perception. You don't even have a chance. You have to use awareness, and then you have a chance. Cosmonaut took the chance and succeeded. You are a sitting duck. And so therefore, this character is well aware of this, is easily able to see who is ready and who is not. And therefore, we are going to, without any difficulty at all, hit you. And so the first thing that you need to know is that oh, I am so disappointed. That's very upsetting. The dart that hits you is you are going to be hit. I'll give you the technical term. It is called an entangle. It is paralytic in this case. It is lethal, which means that it will do you one body of damage, which hurts. Right, that is tissue damage. And it, however, did not strike you. Maybe it's your thick rubbery skin. What it really means is that I rolled for shit. And the point is that it is only having an effect of 1 on you. So 1 entangle, 1 body, and on the other hand, you are also it is also blinding. The pain is so bad that it blinds you, and you are a little bit disoriented. So you are a bit paralyzed and a bit disoriented. And you are, at this time, when you take your actions, I'm going to impose some requirements and limitations on you when that happens. Okay?
Sort of blinded.
Right. At the moment, it's not fully blinded. It's more like disoriented and reduced in your ability to perceive what's coming.